What's up, world? It's been a minute since I have been here, and I wanted to make a point to get back into putting these videos up because I've been getting some feedback from people about the videos, and they've been pretty adamant about me putting some more content out. And so it's been a minute since I've been on here, and since I've been on here, there's been a lot of changes that have gone on. I've gotten a lot of content, spoken to a lot of people, and I was recently having a conversation, and this question came up. I posed this question to the person, and I asked them straight up. I said, listen, what is it about, the question was, what are you willing to change about yourself to make your relationship work? And when I asked that question, I was like, aha, that's something that a lot of people need to ask themselves when they're getting into these predicaments and they're in situations with their spouse or their partner. What is it about myself that I'm willing to change in order to make my relationship work? That's a very serious question and a very honest question to ask, to get deeply, to have some deep thoughts and conversations about, with yourself. And most of the time, we get to these spaces in our relationship and we don't realize that the work that needs to be done is with us. Like, the work that we need to do is strictly with us. The more that we're willing to put more focus on ourselves in fixing our issue, instead of expecting the issue that's outside of us to change and then we'll get better, the more that we can focus on ourselves, the better your relationship becomes. And the more that you can focus your relationship about your partner, stop making it about what you want and start making your relationship about what your partner wants and needs, instead of about what you want to need, your relationship ultimately starts to become better because your focus is not on you. And if your ultimate goal is to make sure your partner's happy and your partner's ultimate goal is to make sure you're happy, a lot of times you lose a lot of friction because everything is about the other individual and not so self-centered focused, or no, self-centered. Excuse me. But that coronavirus serious, ain't it? That's not my deal. Just want to put that out there. That's not me. But anyway, so I thought that was a very interesting question. What is it about yourself that you are willing to change in order to make your relationship work? That's a very serious question I think most people need to ask. Most people need to get down to the nitty-gritty about and get real about that, because a lot of times we think that our problems are outside of us. But inadvertently, your problems are with yourself. Think about these trust issues or infidelity issues, or someone has, like myself, have time management issues or whatever, which can pose a lot of situations, or pose a lot of negative situations in your relationship. So just to keep it on me and to be transparent and vulnerable, with me having a time issue, what ends up happening with me is that ultimately there are things that I may set up with my partner to be somewhere at a certain time, and she's expecting me to be there, and there's something that I might be setting up for her, and there's a situation where she's expecting me to be there at a certain time, and I'm intending to be there at a certain time, but I may get there 30 minutes late. But and I'm it's not like I'm just 30 minutes late. I don't call or nothing like that. I still call. I make the effort to show that I'm trying to respect someone's time and make a conscious effort to not just be so, just free with it. And it's like, whatever. Even with me making the call, it still doesn't change the fact that I wasn't there on time. And with me not being there on time says so many other things. It's like there's a point of me being arrogant. There's a point of me not respecting someone else's time. There's a point of me not respecting the relationship. There comes a point of me not prioritizing the relationship or what we plan. There's so many things and so many facets that come as a result of not being on time or lacking time management skills or whatever. And so the point that I'm making in bringing that up is that that's something that I have to change about myself in order for a portion of my relationship to get better in that area. I have to focus a lot of time on being very conscious about being time oriented, because that's a shortcoming of mine. I'm willing to admit that and say that because we all have something that we're working through. The thing is to figure out where is your shortcoming. What are you hearing the most from your partner? That thing that you're hearing the most from is something that you yourself need to focus on and work at getting better at, so that thing isn't a problem in your relationship anymore. And then subsequently your relationship should start to get better unless it becomes something else, which it normally is. As soon as you get better at this, it's going to be something else. As soon as you get better at that, it's something else you got to work on, because none of us are complete and we're all trying to work through something to get better. I just wanted to make a point to bring that up. What is it that you are willing to change about yourself to make your relationship work? And those are real questions that we need to ask ourselves. My thing is, what you should be willing to change about yourself to make your marriage work. If you're in a marriage, you should be willing to change anything about yourself, not necessarily changing who you are, but be willing to change what you do in order to make your relationship better. Those are my tidbit and my tips of advice for you. This is your boy John Mark. John Mark Speaks for short, okay? Or I should say, Speak John Mark. This is the Speaker's Corner. If there is something about your relationship that you want to change you first, and your relationship will change, all right? If you need to change something in your relationship, change you first, all right? This is your boy John Mark from the Speaker's Corner. If you haven't already, please, that button to the right down there, that red button down there, should be down here on this side or that side, somewhere in there. Subscribe, please. Subscribe to my channel. Please pass it on if you know someone that can benefit from this message or any of the other videos that I have up that you see. If someone can benefit from that, please pass it along and ask them to subscribe also. Thank you for listening. This is your boy John Mark from the Speaker's Corner. I'll talk to you later.